What is going on, guys? Today's the day we finally put them hydraulics in. So this video, I'm going to show you how I did it. So getting this thing started, what I did is I got some 3/16 2-inch angle iron. I put them down on top of the posts that I put on the frame. So this rack is going to be bolted directly to the frame of the car. I also made these little plates to keep any bugs or anything out, mice, whatever the case may be. They're just some metal with a hole cut in it, painted. Here you can see it's up a little bit, so I can make sure I can weld it from the bottom because this rack is going to have to be built in the car. There's going to be no way around that. Now I'm just test fitting to make sure that the battery width is going to work and I'm not welding it the wrong size. A little bit further down here, see I got it all welded up. I'm doing this for 10 batteries, and then I'm going to do 2 batteries so I can run 48 volt in the car if I ever want to upgrade the air condition to an electric compressor. I'm using 3/16 steel that I used to reinforce the frame for straps for the batteries. As you can see, I also made those plates for the cylinders to stick through, trying to keep bugs out, mice. So this is going to be where I put the solenoids. I drilled some holes, put some 3/16 or 1/4-inch bolts in there, welded them from the backside. So now I don't have to worry about the solenoids having a bad ground. These are definitely grounded. Everything's all welded up here. I got it taped off for the solenoids and for the pumps, so that once I paint this, it'll be bare metal underneath there to get good contact. All painted up. All we did was use some semi-gloss black. I'm going to end up covering this whole entire trunk anyway, so you're not going to see this rack when I'm done. So you see in the back corners there, those are going to be for the street chargers to sit on. Here is all the solenoids. I am the solenoid master, and this is the solenoid machine. But seriously, I made sure that I have it redundant so that if there's a problem, I'll solve it with solenoids. So now we got the pump on the bench. What I need to do is Teflon these. What I'm going to do is I originally did Teflon them. I'm going to pull it back apart. There's a little bit of leaking happen underneath this, so I'm going to pull it apart and I'm going to use this liquid thread sealant. This is a high temperature for high pressure as well, so this should work out hopefully what I need. Reading this Permatex box here, it says it takes 24 hours before you can put pressure through it, so I'll seal it up, let it sit on the bench for the night or whatever, and then we'll put them in the car. So this is the one-way valve, and these are notorious for leaking. I don't know if it's just because it's chrome plated or what the deal is, but everybody I've talked to said make sure you really seal that up because that thing's going to leak like a screen door. So I want to make sure I get enough around all the threads here. This is repositionable after 24 hours or before 24 hours, and it shouldn't leak. So I just got to get it on there and just snug it up, and then we'll tighten everything down. But this does go on a certain way, so make sure you're putting it the correct way. Otherwise, you go to hit the switch and you're not going to have any fluid going into your cylinders. This is the 7/8 and 3/4 setup. I just want to snug it up pretty good before I go to put it together. I'll tighten it up once it's kind of closer to being together. It'll be easier once it's in the spot where it needs to go. So doing this side should only see pressure when you're hitting the switch up to make the car go up in the air. Once you hit that switch, the pressure should go away. This one also is the 7/8 and 3/4 on this side as well. And this one has like a flange that like spins on there, or collar that spins, so you don't have to worry about it being in the wrong spot when it's done tightening. So to wire the system together, what I'm using is a 2-watt cable. It's a Temco. I got it on Amazon. I'll have links in the description. I also got these cutters there, and these cut pretty good. I'm going to use it to strip the wire down. Show you how I'm putting the ends on the wire, because with this being 2 gauge or 2-watt, it's a pretty thick wire. I'm just trying to avoid any issues that might occur. That's why I have so many solenoids. That's why I'm going with such a heavy duty wire. I'm just going to do a one and done. So the reason why I chose this wire is because this is 100% pure copper wire. A lot of the wires that you can find, they're copper clad, which means they're just copper plated wires and they could still rust out. This wire should last as long as the car's around, I would assume, but we're using brass ends on everything. So I thought about how I could crimp these wires together. Since they are so big, there's multiple ways people use this thing that you can hammer and put it on there, but I picked up this off of Amazon and it has a whole bunch of different fittings on there. You just tighten it up and it's like a hand pump hydraulic, and it crushes the end on there and makes it like a professional high quality end. The thing I did notice about this is that once you crush it down, you release it just a little bit, turn it just one notch, and then, you know, twist the wire one time, and then you tighten it back down again. Otherwise, where those two dies meet, there could be a sharp edge on there, which you don't want to have. So once you got it crimped up, you take a look at it, and that end is not coming off. It's pretty much on there permanently. We're going to use this piece of shrink wrap that came with the ends, heat them up, put them on there, and they're going to last, hopefully, for a long time. The shrink wrap that they came with also came with like a glue on the inside, so once these are shrink wrapped down, you shouldn't be able to let anything slip underneath there. They should be pretty much on there. With having to make so many different cables, I figured buying this setup would be a time saver rather than hammering that end on there. Alright, so this is going to be the first time actually hitting the switches on it. So I just have the back wired up to 2 batteries randomly right here to 48 volts. I don't want to go to, or 24 volts. I don't want to go to 48 right off the rip. Just make sure we don't have any leaks or anything like that. So I'm going to do it. So the driver's seat's out, so I can run this cable. This is also 2-watt. I got this little panel. So what do we got? The backs. I'm gonna go one side at a time. Seems to be working fine. That might be all the way. Hopefully I don't overpressure it. Let's see. Nah. So what I want to do is make sure that it's not leaking, actually. So it doesn't look like any of those fittings are leaking. Because I'm still fixing it.
Oh yeah, and it'll be hard.
You ready?
Mm-hmm. Do a different one.
Alright, you ready? Was that fun?
Yeah.
So I got 3/4 bolts. These are 3/8 bolts, 3/4 inches long with one washer, going into 3/16 steel. It's just enough to reach all the way. I don't know if I said earlier, but I got this stuff at Lowe's. It's a AW32. I guess that's what everybody's running, hydraulic oil. So hopefully this doesn't, ruin anything. But yeah. I bought 3 gallons to fill the system. It may need it and it may not. Now these 2 outside pumps, they're the front pumps. So what I'm going to do is fill them up. And then we're going to prime them lines out. From what I gather, you just fill it, dump it, and fill it and dump it a couple times. So I'm going to do it on 12 volts to start. Thanks for watching. Next video, we're going to finish up the hydraulics. We got the chains to do. I got to do street charger. I still got to put the seats in the car. I got to put the wheel wells in it. I got to finish up the engine bay. There's still a bunch to do before we actually take this out on the road. So hit that like and subscribe, and until next time, later.